I don't hear the music.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thirsty.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dolphins Thirsty Show here today. And as always, I'm Rob Mosley. And as always, I'm joined by Steve Malloy of Real Talk Fins Talk on the Fins Talk Sports Network, and also always on my show. So how are you tonight, Steve?
Doing good, Rob. Just I'm just anticipating the season here. I can't wait till it gets started. It's only 9 more days, I think. 8 more days or something like that. It's a countdown.
Yeah, today I think it's 10 days. Today was like Dawn Struck days I saw somewhere. So it's 10 days. So yeah, before we know it, tomorrow we'll be in single digits until the Dolphins play their first football game. And hopefully some questions will start being answered. Are they as good as we all think? I think this guy here is our resident Bills fan, but yeah, now I see the little logo. He even has a picture of El Capitan on there.
All right.
Hey, Jamaica. Hey, welcome. That's a fan of DG Live right there. He's not with us yet tonight. I don't know if he's coming in. Hey, Ender, welcome. All you guys, welcome. But yeah, so the Dolphins made some news today. Nothing that knocked down the doors, but they inked Alec Ingold to a 3-year extension. So that was nice to see because fullbacks don't get a lot of love in this day and age. Dolphins are actually one of, I think, 2 teams or something like that has a fullback on the roster.
Right. So, didn't they make him the highest paid fullback?
Yeah, they did. So, yes, so they showed commitment there. And they earlier in the week, they re-signed Zach Sealer. So they are keeping some of theirs. I know the big name everyone wants to know is Kristen Wilkins, but it seems like that's going to be on the back burner until next off season probably, unless they work something. But from what both sides were saying, that they just kind of put that on hold, and Kristen's just going to play out this contract now.
And they asked him about Tua Tagovailoa, and he said the same thing. He said, they're just going to concentrate on football. He's going to play football this year, and they'll worry about that next year. So that's telling me, as we all been saying, this is the Tua's got to show up this year. So
no, this is it, man.
And for him.
No, this is a zero excuse season. There's no excuses. And speaking of zero, Braxton Berrios will be the first Miami Dolphins ever wear 0 in a game. Yeah. It's not official, according to Pro Football Reference, until he actually lines up in a regular season games. But it will obviously, he's going to be on the roster, and he's going to make that part. So that will cover all the Dolphins jersey from 0 to 99 would have been worn. So that's cool. And there's only 2 numbers that have 1 player each that have worn them. And that's 12 for Bob Greasy. He's the only one to ever wear 12 for the Miami Dolphins. And then there's another one, your favorite football player, Larry Zonka, the only one to wear 39 for the Miami Dolphins. So hopefully Braxton Berrios has such a great career with Miami that, they said, oh my God, we can never let anyone else wear 0. I don't know. Hey, Fins Up. Oh, getting some Facebook love. I'm trying to grow that, so that's nice. Fins Up, Joe. And welcome to the show. I'm happy to hear that. But I have to do my tradition, man, when someone comes into the, for the first time, I have to do a little Miami Dolphin tradition here if I still have it. Oh, I don't have the song here right now. Oh, well, normally I play the Miami Dolphin fight song for our guys, but I took it out when I was messing around with different stuff. So I would just throw in a welcome. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Please, if you're watching on Facebook, hit that. I'd like to say Fins Up, but on both of these places, it's called YouTube thumbs up. So thank you guys. But anyway, Steve, then like you say, this is a 0 excuse season. Should be a good season. There's a lot of good teams though to compete against. Yes, Mr. Buffalo Bills fan will be happy to hear Buffalo's a tough team to compete against. The Jets have become a tough team to compete against. Then you got the Bengals. Then you got, of course, the biggest bully in the whole NFL the past couple of years, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Ravens aren't going to be slept on. So there's a lot, and there's other teams that aren't going to be slept on too that I'm not even naming. The Chargers are no joke to open the season week 1.
Yeah, that's a game. That's a game. If even if we were to lose that game, I'm not going to panic a lot about it. But if we win, that's really going to make a statement. I mean, that's I feel that's a game that we need to win to get the season, the ball rolling in the season and set us on that trajectory that we want to go.
No, I do too. I'm not going to say it's a must win, obviously, in week 1, but I think it is a very important win because you need that good chemistry moving forward. Get that bad taste of the West Coast game they had last year out there where the Chargers basically dominated us and we just couldn't get anything done offensively. Then the 49er taste right the week before that. So let's get that dirty taste out of the mouth. Have a good feeling being on the West Coast because you never know who's you're going to have to play in the playoffs. There's a very good chance you may have to fly out to the West Coast and play a playoff game. So get that stigma off you. Go out there and smack down some Chargers. Tua stands up and, it's not Tua against Herbert, but Tua definitely has to do better than he did in the game up there. And if the Dolphins defense does what they think, what we think they can do, there's no reason I can't see going into Los Angeles and coming out with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, with this roster that we have, at least the top half of the roster, and if everybody's healthy, I definitely don't see anything that's going to stop us from beating these guys or anyone.
Cool. Yeah, I know. I mean, like I said, it's tough teams, but Chris Greer said, he said it himself that he thinks he's good enough to, so he's putting his name out there. He's already put his name out there doing all these trades he did, and then the trade he didn't do. So his name's out there on this thing, and I'm happy he didn't do the trade. When you hear what Indianapolis was asking, that's just insane. Like Waddle and I mean, you're crazy. Not even for Waddle and him straight up do you do that deal, but they were saying Waddle and you're like, get out of here. So
let's. Did you hear what Chris Greer said? He said there were conversations, but they never made any offer. There was never an offer on the table.
Right. No,
now whether they offered or they mentioned Christian Wilkins or Waddle, that's one thing. But based on what Chris Greer said, 95% of the media is not giving you the full truth. Is not right. Is not correct. So I'm going to take him for his word for it. I am not going to talk anymore about the depth of this roster. I'm not going to question anything Chris Greer says. I'm going to take him at face value, and we'll see on the field. That's where the talking is going to be made on the field.
And I do. I agree that probably no official trade offers because once the Indianapolis said, "Oh, this is on the table," they're like, "I'm not even going to humor that with him in a response if you're asking for that much. Get back to us when reality kicks in."
Yeah.
But for sure, I'm happy with the team as it is right now. Yes, running backs could be a little worrisome the first week, but from what A-Chain says, he says he's ready to go. McDaniel wasn't so fast to say that. McDaniel did say he would A-Chain should practice and prep this week. But when they asked him for the game, but he's never going to tip his hand like that. But when they went, the reporters like Barry Jackson and all, then went into the locker room and actually spoke to A-Chain himself. He says, "I'm going to be in there," and he has been practicing, but in red no contact jersey. So hopefully he's good to go because we're going to need him because right now, really technically, but I think Ahmed is going to be back real quick. But technically right now, as far as healthy backs, we have Mostert and undrafted free agent rookie in Chris Brooks as our only two healthy running backs. And I like the running back room. I've been the first one beating that. I've been on that hill all off season. I like our running back room. Don't do something crazy, giving up all kinds of picks for the future. So I like the running back room, but it is a little worrisome. But I think luckily how the NFL is now that we only do the 3 preseason games ever since they went to that format.
Yeah.
You get basically a bye week after the last preseason game before all the teams are off for a week. So all those bumps and bruises hopefully heal up. Ender, the way they did it does not mean he's out for the year. He could come back after 4 weeks because they put him on the active roster and then place him on the injured list. If they had placed him on the injured list before the season, then yes, he would be out for the whole year. So there is a chance that Wilson can come back. Now, whether he will, if the running back room's clicking and everyone's flying on all cylinders, but it's an insurance policy if someone else gets banged up for sure. So I'm hoping, he's back.
Yeah, that running back room really intrigues me because, you've got Ahmed and A-Chain. They're similar backs, and they offer basically the same skill set. So they're almost a duplicate of each other. The only one that really makes the difference is Chris Brooks. And we don't know.
No, we don't
the
know
jury's
yet.
still out on him. We don't know what he's going to do in the regular season. But Mostert has gained 10 pounds of muscle this year in the offseason, from what I understand. So he went up from 205 to 215. And the reason why he did that was for he could be more of a power back as well this year. So now we've got Brooks and we've got Mostert, who's he's going to be the power back as well. Of course, we know that Chris Brooks is probably going to be the main guy as far as power back goes. Maybe
especially with Wilson being down, so for sure.
Yeah, especially since Wilson's being down, he's going to be our thumper back there. He's probably going. It's going to be interesting how they use these guys. I mean, you got like you said, you got Mostert, you got Chris Brooks, you got Ahmed, and you got A-Chain. How are they going to use all four of those guys in the backfield? Who's going to get the majority of the snaps?
I think Mostert will probably be the starter, but in the running back room, that's kind of it doesn't really matter because one play later you could be out, and they could put A-Chain in. It's going to be scheme oriented a lot. Like if they're going to want to get A-Chain out in the flats and almost like line them up in the backfield to start, motion them out to them, and then some linebacker is going to be saying, "Oh my God, I got to try to cover this guy," So I think they're going to do a lot of moves like that. And I do believe Izugama made the team. And I do believe like what we saw in a couple of the preseason games, like where they handed him the ball, like kind of on an end around, just kind of get a taste that, they're going to do all kinds of stuff to get the running game going this year, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, Shake
and
Money.
Also,
thanks again for having me last night.
And also, since we talked about the contract, that they gave Alec Ingold, which is not bad. I mean, I know it's 17-something million dollars, but that's with incentives. But he's actually going to make about $12 million $4 million a year for 4 years, 3 years. So that's $12 million. He has to reach other, there's incentives in the contract. So it's a good contract for Alec Ingold. And he's a guy that's not talked about. Now, we forget last year he was coming off an ACL injury when we picked him up. And he also broke his thumb and had or I think it was broke his thumb, or he had thumb surgery before we even started in the regular season. So he was already hurt when he came on the field. Now, did that affect his play? Who's to say? But I think they're going to utilize him a lot more this year. And I don't think people realize he's kind of the unsung hero. He's our best blocker, even better than I think our tight ends that we have presently on the
That's
team.
why some people, you see some of the beat writers, they kind of list him in with the group of tight ends instead of running backs.
Right. So, but he can do other things. And the reason why we paid him a contract and we signed him a 3-year deal is because, if he was just a fullback and he just ran the ball, he wouldn't have gotten that contract.
Right.
But he's a versatile guy. He can catch the ball. He's a great blocker, and he can run if needed. He moves all around the line there.
Yeah. So, and before I get to Raphael's comment there on Chris Brooks, the word you just said, versatile. I think that's the key word in the Miami Dolphins running backs. It's all of them can catch the ball out of the backfield and, obviously run the ball as running backs. But, all of them can, because Mostert, he can catch the ball. He may not get all the love for it, but he can catch the ball. And Chris Brooks, Mostert actually raved about the hands that Brooks have, and that, he's surprised that he's already running good routes, and said, man, he's going to surprise. He's a big guy out there that can run. And, so I think that's a promise. But like I said, we all saw Brooks going against guys that might not even be on active rosters right now. And, so I'm going to hold that, but I have hope, because every so often you just hit and hopefully the Dolphins just hit on that spot. And I mean, they like him enough to where they were comfortable letting Gaskin go, who was already picked up by the Minnesota Vikings. They like him enough that they placed Wilson on the injured reserve, if only him basically as his type running back on the roster. So they like him a lot, obviously. And I know Lagasse likes him a lot.
Yeah, and the thing about Brooks is, and I know he played against, as you just mentioned, third stringers and all that, and I know a lot of people are hyped up on him and everything, and yeah, maybe we do need to, slow down a little bit on that. But if you looked at him in the preseason, and look, I've been watching football for over 50 years, and I just have a feeling. When you see a guy, he has he's a big dude. He's a big dude, and he has all the physical ability and he's our backup fullback too. Don't forget that. And he has all the traits that you want in a running back. He keeps his feet, moving. He's a one-cut guy, and he's straightforward, and he's going to get you 2 or 3 yards, even if it's not there. And who he reminds me of is Ronnie Brown.
Oh, wow. Hey, that's a name. Hey, that's a name that was a very top pick for the Miami Dolphins. But who
Not
else?
saying he is. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm saying no. I would love that. Someone else even said a bigger name on the NFL, the Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare. So
remember him.
I don't know if he's not that big, but I mean, that'd be cool if he could be just anywhere near the career.
Right.
Yes, Shake Money. Believe me, I plan to be off by 8 p.m. to catch some Gators football as they take on Utah out in Utah tonight at 8 p.m. But so that is a good point, Shake. So don't worry, we're not going past that. And anyway, with that said, guys, I'm going to drop a link here. And if anyone wants to join our show, they're more than welcome to. Newfoundland, I hope everything's doing great on your end. But yeah, I do. Like I said, I still have high hopes for the Dolphins. Am I worried about some of the moves? Yes. But am I going to get worried that, the Dolphins released a 6th-round receiver that was in college that got converted to tight end in the Dolphins? No. Now, in a couple years, if you want to revisit it and Eli Higgins is killing it and our Julian Hill is out of the league, then I would say, okay. But, for now, I'm not going to worry about a 6th-round pick.
You know how many 6th or 7th rounders in Dolphins history who were poached off the waiver wire or got waived have made it in the NFL?
I know. Yeah. Small number. Yep. There you go. So you just never know. So, the only thing that's a little scary, I guess, is that 5 teams put a claim in for him. So obviously people saw something.
But I'm with you. I'm not worried about a 6th or 7th round pick. I'm really not.
And it basically came down to him and Julian Hill. And Julian Hill is probably more advanced as a blocker right now, is what it came down to.
Yeah, well, what McDaniel said is the way that he chooses these players, whether it be defense, offense, is on their production.
And practice and everything.
And practices. Right? So it's not just, game film that he's looking at. He's looking at the way they practice, whether they're special teams, all of that stuff.
Oh, we're going to have Papa Paul join us. Paul, your face might be blocked for a minute until I get
there he is. How you doing, Papa?
Good. How are y'all doing tonight?
Can't complain, man.
Doing great.
Can't complain.
It wouldn't do any good anyway. No one listens.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So what are your thoughts, Papa, like where the Dolphins stand, right now with their roster?
I mean, it is what it is. I support it all. And we just have to wait and see. I mean, I'm not changing anything, how I feel about anything. I mean, it's like I said before, we didn't have Jalen Ramsey last year.
Right.
So, I mean, and we still picked up a couple other defensive players.
Yeah. So are you okay with the running back room? I am, and so is Steve, but a little injury concerns maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with Jeff Wilson's injured. I mean, really, A-Chain's a little bit injured. It's day to day. We got Brooks and Mostert. That's
Yeah.
it, really. Ahmed should be okay, but
Yeah, he should be. They say he should be full practice this coming week, so hopefully so.
Yeah, A-Chain was out with the red shirt on.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. You just got to wait and see. I mean, I'm okay with the running game if they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole team, really.
Yeah. No, that's it. I mean, that's the key to any season. You got to stay healthy. The coach has to stick with the running game when it's going well and not abandon it. So, a whole bunch of things, and avoid silly penalties that get you into passing downs. Because if you're like going to run it on 1st and 10 and then your offensive tackle jumps, moves back and false starts, then you're at 1st and 15, and that changes the whole dynamic of the drive because now you got to try to pick up bigger chunks of yardage. So there's so many things that go with the running game to try to get.
Most definitely. I mean, it's the running game's going to help as long as McDaniels can keep it a 50-50 progress like he was doing during preseason. I think there'll be a major improvement over last year and stuff.
Well, I don't think they're going to be 50-50. But I do think they're going to. I think they're going to be more like a. Now, this is just my opinion, Papa. I don't know any more than probably you or Rob or anyone. But I'm thinking. I think we would be successful if we do a 58-38, as opposed to a
50.
And
you're better at math than me. I was
excuse me. I'm wrong. Last year they were 62-38.
Right.
This year I'd like to see maybe a 55 to whatever that ratio
45.
would be. 45. Right. There you go. 45. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. So 55-45 or even 58-48 would be fine.
A Cap for life. Are you there, Cap? I don't know.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing tonight, boys?
Hey, Cap. What's up, brother?
Good. What's up, Cap?
So what are your take on the roster as we see it now? Pretty much set with a couple of tweaks, maybe here and there as people become available. But are you happy with the roster as we see it right now?
I mean, I would be, a little bit more secure if we had a backup center. I mean, we got Eichenberg just in case, but left tackle for me. What do you guys think? Are we good on the tackle side? Are we good in the guard side?
Well, if the big course is the fact, do they stay healthy? That's the problem. So, if we get Armstead, I think we're very good at the tackle if Armstead is healthy. But his whole career, he's never, played a full NFL season.
Well, I mean, you look how we started last year. In one form or another, they may have been playing hurt, but one form or another. Come the open game, the first game of the year, we had 18 injured players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I know.
So
yeah, I know. I mean,
well,
that's
brutal. The thing that I don't like, Cap, is our depth, of course. But and I know a lot of folks are concerned about Connor Williams. I'm not concerned about Connor Williams. At one point last year, he was a number 5 center in the NFL. And how many times did he have bad snaps last year in the regular season? Not many, except for the one time where it did almost counted. What almost hurt us was in the playoffs. But I'm not concerned so much with his snapping ability. I'm more concerned with who is going to back him up. As far as the tackles go, I am concerned about Armstead, and the reason why I'm concerned about Armstead is we know he gets hurt. He's going to get hurt, and he's going to miss a few games, right? But if you listen to his talk on, I forgot what show he was on, and they were asking him about if he's going to be ready for the regular season. He said he was working on it, and the goal, and he hopes that he will be ready for the first game of the season. He didn't say he was ready and he would play. He said they're working on it, and hopefully he will be ready for the first game.
I mean, we did keep
that concerns me.
We did keep Feeney.
No, we did not keep Feeney. We traded Feeney.
I thought.
No, we traded him to the Bears.
Yeah, we traded him. Papa.
I'm thinking of someone else.
I know who you're thinking. Cotton or whoever.
We got Eichenberg, Lester Cotton. Those are our 2 backups.
Yeah.
Well, Ulave.
Yeah,
No,
he's on the practice squad. Yeah,
he's on the practice squad. But yeah, they could take him off the practice squad
exactly.
if needed.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we got free agency.
That's a good point.
We got free agency coming up too, right? Like this is the last wave of everything. Once the releases come out, like they have already, and it's pretty much not. I don't want to say dumpster diving or dollar store shopping, but you can get some good value, man. You really can.
Well, at the same time, it's like the old saying: one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yes, sir.
No, I know. You never know, man. You can still plug in some guys. But, like I say, we lost a couple guys that, a couple guys we cut were picked up by other teams. So that's a sign that teams know you're pretty talented when they're looking at your waiver wire saying, oh, who are the Dolphins going to – because teams pounced on, Elijah Higgins. The Vikings pounced on Gaskin. And then a couple other guys got, Ryan Hayes got picked up. So teams at least look at what we're doing and they say, hey, Dolphins have some talent. Let's poach their guys. They're trying to sneak on.
We're looking at other teams' waiver wire as well.
Yeah, I know, but
I've seen Gaskin's not making the team this year as it was.
Yeah. No,
I
know.
He's a good running back, but he wasn't enough.
You know what you're getting with him is pretty much what you're saying or what you're thinking, and I think the same thing. I think a new path for him might be a better chosen path. And for us right now, the youth that we have, I would really like to see what Brooks has moving forward, man. If we do have him, utilize him.
Well, I think Brooks is going to be our short down man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whether it's 2nd and 3 or 3rd and 4 or something like that, or fourth and 4 yards and goal.
Yeah. I mean, if you have Ingle in that capacity to the point where you signed him to an extension, imagine him on short goal line yardage as well. I mean, we don't really utilize him that much in short line yardage unless we're telling him to go out and catch a pass or block. But that's a double threat going down the middle with a big body. I mean, I like it this season, man. I like what we got as far as the youth when it comes to that. Depth-wise, tight end-wise, it is what it is. We'll find out. But, guys, it's less than a week away, guys. Like, we're less than a week away. Less than 2 weeks away. Sorry. We're almost there.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about our depth on our defense, though.
Yeah, I think we all are because we're very good in the starting unit. But
the secondary is not all there.
Yeah. If they stay healthy, I think they're okay because they said Eli Apple's been better than anticipated and that he's probably a good fit in Fangio's defense. Obviously, we wish we could have Ramsey, but unfortunately, injuries happen and he couldn't even take one snap for us before the regular season, and he was done. Not even in a preseason game, he was done. Yeah, well, so it's just unfortunate.
You know how I feel about him.
I know you say he's good. You're saying he's going to come back as early as November. I hope you're right, Paul. I hope you're right.
You heard Greer. Greer said the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
I see him playing in the Germany game.
Yeah. Hey, if that happens, man, I would give you the Crystal Ball Award for this year because you've been saying that, you've been saying that all along. But, overall, I think Xavier Howard's going to have a decent year this year again, step up. I think this defense, I think a lot of us are going to be anxious to see what a Fangio defense really does. I hope there's no learning curve in the first couple of weeks. I hope we hit the ground running.
Oh, there's going to be a learning curve.
I know, but I hope
it's going to be a learning curve.
The tremendous learning curve.
The problem is, and this is the stat that I heard on Twitter. Shout out to Miss Finns. The problem is we cannot afford to have a hiccup coming in with 13 games or 12 games out of the 17 being playoff contending teams.
Yep. No, I know.
Yes, that's what we've been saying all along. And a lot of those 12 of those 13 teams are 13 of those teams. Like 10 of them have top defenses.
And I think
offenses.
I think the next 10 days, Fangio is going to work a lot of the hiccups out.
Well, I hope so because we go against Justin Herbert, and he has that team moving pretty well. So hopefully, we're going to have to. Hopefully, Fangio can come up with assignments and looks.
I don't know if you were there last night, Rob, or not. It was asked about, are we surprised with Baker still being on the team? What do you guys think?
No, I'm not surprised because I think he's going to actually be pretty good. I know coverage is not his big thing that people say he's not good in coverage, but I think Fangio, he's a speedy linebacker, and I think Fangio will find use for him. I'm hoping David Long is going to be the big, nice linebacker that we've been waiting for that will come up hard and hit and all that. Yeah. But I mean, Baker, I'm not as down on Baker as some people wish. Maybe he didn't make as big as money as he does. But I think he can be a good fit. How about you, Cap?
Well, that part for me, Rob, what you just brought up about the money aspect, I mean, the guy's taking multiple pay cuts. He always gets dogged. He always gets dogged. He always tries to play every game. But with that being said, if you had a chance during the trade deadline to get rid of him and Ogba, knowing both of them have big contracts, I mean, if we know we're good at that linebacking core, and we got Long, and we got Tyndall, and we got maybe ABG starts to play well in the middle. If we have depth to that point where even Good starts to play off the side too, or something, you never know, man. Like, these packages might have both of the defensive ends playing linebacking. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. We might have a good depth, and to that point, we might have trade pieces going into the trade deadline when we have banged up bodies. I mean, that's the luxury to have if we didn't make a splash move like we did, previously with the running backs. Like, I think we're good moving forward. It's just, for me, like, homegrown is Baker, homegrown is Wilkins, but it just seems like the fans are quick to get rid of them.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I like Baker. Like I said,
you're right.
I know the
that's
money
a good point.
is the main reason. You can go, Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say he made a good point. You're right. Fans are quick to get rid of him. And I'm one. I thought we could probably trade Christian Wilkins and get some good draft capital out of it. But I have to be honest here.
Baker?
No, Christian Wilkins.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Now what you mentioned, Cap,
he didn't sign.
Christian Wilkins?
Everybody thought that when he didn't sign. Like, he for a guy not to sign and to hold out or hold in, and then tell you, hey, I'm willing to stay a year, because basically they already shut it down. They said that the Dolphins are not going to talk contracts until the end of the season. That says a lot about Christian Wilkins, man. That says a lot.
And yes, it does. But
but then you mentioned the trade. But then you mentioned the trade deadline too.
Yeah, there's a trade deadline.
So
in order for Wilkins to get the contract he wants, and not get traded, he's going to have to get some sacks in there the first 4 or 5 games and stuff.
Yeah, Papa, you're right. You're absolutely right.
That's why he they didn't sign him that big contract, okay? That extension, because they want to see, as I said earlier in the broadcast here, Mike McDaniel wants to see production. That's the way people are going to stay on this team. They need to produce. They need to be productive. Right. And that's what Christian Wilkins is going to have to do. Not just be a good run stopper, or maybe apply a little pressure to the quarterback and help the other guys out a little bit. He needs to make an impact. I mean, pass, rushing impact as far as sacks go. That's what they're looking for out of Christian Wilkins. I mean, 11 sacks. Yeah, that's okay. Run stopping is not going to win you games.
Oh, I know, and it's not going to get you the big
but sacks will.
Yeah, no, it will.
Sacks are going to stop the quarterback, right?
Yeah,
and running back too, but it's a passing league.
That's a great point, Papa, that you just mentioned too, because I didn't really think about it to that point where we have options to do that as well with Wilkins, as opposed to doing it with Ogba and Baker as well. Like, if things don't work out, or for Wilkins in that place where Seiler and Peely and Davis are doing great, and you have that luxury, and we have a lot of cap to get rid of. You remember Omar Kelly said what? Capopolis. What was it? What's the name of it?
Capopolis. Yeah, Capopolis.
Yep.
He says it's coming. He says it's coming soon, man, and that means a lot of guys that we want to sign we ain't going to be able to sign regardless anyway. So might as well move them for something.
Yeah, they signed the cheaper veterans. You know, they got the Ngolds in, they got Sealer in, so they're like, okay, the guys that are going to work with us and come up with numbers that we can all agree on. But obviously, Wilkins is asking, and I had said that all along. I do not want to lose Wilkins for nothing next year.
No, I love Wilkins, man. Wilkins is he's a vocal leader on our team, and I like him. He's a locker room guy. But business is business, man. You know, and we're going to be in, like Cap just pointed out, we're going to be in cap hell next year. You know.
Well, business is business. I am a Baker fan, but I am a believer of when he said it himself. This is going to be his year.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so, year, man. I like Baker too, man.
I think we all like Baker.
He said it. He said it during the offseason this year. He was going to make a difference this year.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope so. But I like Baker too. I mean, I know we're overpaying him for and everything, but he made a lot of tackles last year. Now, grant you, the tackles were they weren't they were way past the line of scrimmage, but he made the tackles.
Was it him that made that stop at the goal line the last preseason game that caused the fumble for
no, I think
Holland to pick up?
No, I think that was remember Landon Roberts, I think.
No, during the preseason. I think it was when Holland.
Preseason. Yeah. It was Baker. It was Baker and Holland. That's true. That's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's getting to that point, man, I mean, he's due. He's due. Tua's due. Austin Jackson's due. All these guys are due, man.
Robert Hunt, Connor Williams, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips.
Yep. No, it's all time for them to step up to and thank you, Danny, by the way. Thank you for joining us. And he brings up a good point on interior alignment.
I understand that. I agree with them. You know, they're not, but that's not how the businessmen look at it.
I don't know the business side of it, right? They get the sexy numbers of sacks, get the big paychecks. So that's for sure. But I mean, he's going to get a nice paycheck from someone. I just don't want to lose him for nothing. You know, I don't want to go into free agency and we get nothing. You know, you're not going to deal him, you know, be able to do it. Get something for him.
We had a deep-hearted debate about this, man. A really deep-hearted debate on Twitter about this. And we made an exception. Well, I mean, I at least I made an exception to the rule is if he doesn't have double digits, but he's helping Chubb and Phillips and Long get double digits, for me, that's almost the same.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No, I agree.
I don't want to see him go either, but if he gets traded, I'm hoping it's a deal like a Tunzel deal.
Right.
Oh, but that means you would have to transition tag him, not franchise tag him, because that's the only way you can get something back for value for the first rounder, I believe.
Either way, I'm just saying I would like to see.
Franchise tag is I think it's actually 2 first-round picks if you franchise tag them, and then so that's the big one. That's the one that that's why they put them on the quarterbacks and all of that kind, because that's the big one. Some team would have to give you
But and at the same time, I with them tabling the contracts, I see they're not 100% sure on Tua either, because they did the same thing with him, tabled his contract until the off season.
Right.
You saw that too, right, Papa?
Yes.
Yeah, they gave him the 5th-year option, but that's not much in this market, So he is here. We have him controlled through this season and next season. But Herbert's already got his big money.
Yeah, if he gets
any minute.
If he gets hurt again, where he's out more than 2 games this year, that's going to be pretty much it for him, I believe.
Yeah, but the Dolphins will have their first. They'll have their first, and they'll have an option on free agent quarterbacks that are coming out. I mean, if things don't go right in Minnesota, the Dolphins are going to make a push at Kirk Cousins if Tua doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of possibility. Let's just hope it works out. We've been been Dolphin fans too long. This year is the 50th anniversary since the last Super Bowl win. 50 years. I'm 53, so that means I was 3 years old the last time he won a Super Bowl. I remember the Super Bowl losses. But, I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy that it's been that long since we've even won a playoff game. December 30th, 2000 is the last time we won a playoff game. I have 2 sons. One's a senior in high school. One's already in his 2nd year at University of Florida who plays tonight. He doesn't play football, unfortunately. He's a smart kid. And hey, football players are smart too. Don't throw heat at me. But but he got there on his brains, not if athletics. He has my DNA.
You're stereotyping, Rob. You're stereotyping.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, my point is, and during all that time, They're still Dolphin fans, but they haven't seen one. My son will be in November this year. He turns 21, my oldest, and not one.
You haven't seen it either. You haven't seen a Super Bowl win.
I haven't seen a Super Bowl win that I remember. Yeah, I saw the Super Bowl losses. Steve is the only one here that's actually old enough to have remembered the Super Bowl wins.
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
I don't really remember it. I was 6 years old at the time.
Well, I was young. The only one that affected me was a Stojanovic kick. The missed kick.
Okay, how old are you, Cap? Like, you don't have to say exactly, but in the 30s, 40s, or
45.
Oh, 45. Okay, yeah. So you're right at
Damn,
that.
Young buck, Cap.
I just remember the excitement in my grandfather and them down there, in Miami, and that's what made me a Dolphins fan.
Yeah. Hey, like I say, man, I remember those Super Bowl losses that I saw when I was a kid in the 80s, like they were yesterday. And, when Marino lost that one against the 49ers and Joe Montana, I really told myself, I was like 14 at the time. So I'm like, they're going to get there a lot, man. We got the best quarterback in NFL history. He just broke every record in 1984. And we never returned to the Super Bowl again. It's just crazy.
Trust me, I know. That was just crazy.
Hey, I love those days, though. I would love to get there and get heartbroken in the Super Bowl just to win some playoff games. I mean, give me a playoff.
Well, what was heartbreaking was with Marino's last game in Jacksonville. That was heartbreaking.
Oh, that was horrible.
Oh,
62
to 7.
Yeah,
62 to 7.
What a horrible stinker way to go out for a legend. It's just bad. It was ugly. But the Dolphins just, never put a whole team around them. And yes, I think in this day and age, there's enough around him that he would get by. But in those rules, it was, I think, a little different. I'm not one of those old guys that, in the old days, this was bad. But I'm just saying that rules have changed. And I think Marino wouldn't need as much as the other stuff in this day and age. It would just be like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Marino threw for 6,000 yards if he played in this era.
Real quick, I'm going to see if this video will play. And it's OJ and his feelings about the Miami Dolphins, if it'll play. You'd have to, I don't know if you see it on the side there to bring it up or not.
There we go.
My friend. And we keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions.
Well, thank you for throwing that up there. When you said OJ, I was thinking the other OJ at first.
OJ Simpson?
No.
Yeah, I was happy to see this OJ.
There you go.
Oh.
Well, that's probably like Cap's era that OJ was like the big dog. I grew up like the Duper Clayton era. So Cap, you probably like a big
Tony
OJ.
Martin. It was what? Tony Martin, Irving Fryer, Chris Chambers.
Oh,
who else?
Irving Fryer.
Oronde.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Gaskin? Yeah.
I have a football with Chris Chambers on it.
Yeah.
The tight ends were like hit and miss. I think the only tight end that stuck around was McMichael. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, Randy McMichael.
Yeah. Randy McMichael is great. Yes.
Yeah, he was a good tight end. He was a real good tight end for us, for sure. But so, what do you guys think about the? I know they've already got their 16-man practice squad together. Did any of you have an opportunity to see the pickups that we got today?
I saw the first 8. I didn't see the second 8.
Yeah, we picked up another safety, Joseph Kalu.
Kalu. Yeah. It's on DolphinThirsty.com, guys, if you want to know.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, tell them, Rob, what you got going on over there.
Well, this one right here is my one from the other day, or Ethan Bonner, Cam Good, Alamo Uluve, Tanner Connor, which has not been officially announced by the team still for whatever reason, Braylon Sanders, Chasen Hines, Jason Kalu, AJ Johnson, Deshaun Han, Randy Charlton. But then I can go the ones that have officially been by the Miami Dolphins, which is different. That's what Barry Jackson's reporting that he's hearing. But he even said that the Dolphins have only announced a couple of them. They've only, he says Miami only advised of these: Nick Bowers, Darrington Evans, Chase
Bowers
Hines.
is a tight end. Nick Bowers is a tight end.
Right. It's a tight end.
Right.
Running back Garrett Evans. Offensive lineman Chase Hines. Safety Joshua Kalu. Defensive tackle Rashard Lawrence. Tackle James Tunstall, who was an undrafted free agent by us, and we brought him back.
I don't know how he made the practice squad. He didn't do nothing.
Wide receiver Raleigh Reb, and DN Chase Winovich, who was a pretty high pick for the New England Patriots. Sorry, guys, I forgot to turn my ringer down.
He has some NFL experience, so we've got some veterans
actually
on
has
the
12
on the
career
squad.
sacks, and he played for the New England Patriots. So those are the official. All those names are the ones that the Miami Dolphins actually have posted on their website.
Right, I think that's all 16. That's all 16, I believe. But Joseph Kalu, who played, actually he's from the Houston area, Texas. Anyway, he is a veteran, and he's a gunner. He's a special teams ace. He has over 700 special teams snaps. So that's the reason why we got him, and we need gunners on the special teams.
No, definitely.
So, so that's the reason why we picked him up for sure.
Joshua Kalu.
Kalu, yeah. Kalu. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I see there's a total of 6 players on the IR.
Yeah. Can you name them, Papa?
Yeah, Keon Crossan, Robert Jones, Jalen Ramsey, Eric Saubert, Zeke Vandenberg, and Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yep. Sorry, telling that person I'm calling him back.
Crossan was a special teams player for us. Hey, we got Justin Bethel back. He's another gunner on our. I think he's on the active roster now.
Yeah,
he is. He didn't practice today due to injury, but yeah, he is on the.
Yeah, hopefully he'll make it. He's a gunner for our special teams as well.
Now
he did real well for us last year.
I was thinking earlier, Isaiah Wynn.
Isaiah Wynn, what?
When I said Feeney.
Oh, Isaiah Wynn. Right. Yeah. Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Isaiah Wynn. I mean, he's good backup for. He could be a good backup for Armstead.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be the starting left guard.
Kendall Lamb. Yeah.
And then Lamb will. I think they. I don't know, because they're saying Lamb is probably going to be the swing tackle, be the first one up if one of the tackles gets hurt. And then because he was telling them, let me play right tackle. Yeah. And, so they finally let him play some right tackle, but he's a pretty good left tackle. I think he's an upgrade over our backups last year. Like last year in Armstead, if it's like you just prayed that someone didn't come and knock and, kill one of our guys with the ball, so I think he's an upgrade, but and I think Wynn's an upgrade. Of course, that's saying he's an upgrade over Eichenberg. I know none of us are that high on Eichenberg, so how much of an upgrade? But an upgrade's an upgrade.
An upgrade's an upgrade. You're right. He's a serviceable guard. What we up to this point, he's a serviceable guard until he proves different. But Eichenberg, I don't even know why Eichenberg is still on this team, to be quite frank with you.
He can snap. I think he has a versatility that he can play all 3 positions now. Help them.
I think the thing that helped him and Coach McDaniel pointed this out in his interview yesterday about being in OTAs and how the OTAs can help, because they said in OTAs that Eichenberg was playing center then and said he was farther along than Connor Williams was at that same point in time last year.
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you, Cap, for stopping by and talking to us, Cap. Thank you. Sorry if we left you a little behind there, but thank you, Cap. Hey, guys, good time to remember. If you're getting there, please give me a fins up. Yes, they call it thumbs up here. Thank you, guys. But anyway, I agree, guys. I think, there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to worry about, but that's just us being Dolphin fans. A lot of good competition out there all across the board. And I think this is it. McDaniel's second year with this team. If they don't know the system by now, most of the guys are coming back are all guys that have already played for us, outside of, Braxton Berrios and a couple guys like that are going to get significant playing time, and a couple of the running backs we mentioned, the young guys. But outside of that, we should be good to go. And that's why I'm calling this the zero excuse season for Braxton Berrios. We're in number 0. So to me, there's no excuse. Don't you agree, guys?
Absolutely.
It's all
absolutely.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely. Yeah,
it became
we
zero
got what we
excuse.
got. We got this roster. And this is it. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a few. It's going to be fluid in some respects. Maybe practice squad for sure. That's going to change a lot over the course of the year, and even the 53-man roster. But it is what it is, man. I mean, we got what we got. We got accepted, and hopefully, that they win some games. They go out there and they compete and
Yeah,
win some
no,
games as we expect and make the playoffs and move on. So
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's my expectation, Paul. I expect the Dolphins to win at least a playoff game. I'm not going to say Super Bowl or bust because that's a big ask. Only one team wins the Super Bowl at the end of the year. But this roster, the way Greer went and built this roster, they abandoned the build through the draft philosophy the minute they traded for Tyreek Hill, and then they traded for Chubb. Then they brought in Ramsey. Obviously, they didn't give up as much draft compensation for Ramsey, but they still brought him in as a veteran. So that we're going to build through the draft went out the window. And now it's the no excuse season with how this team currently stands.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there is some good news. Tyreek Hill will not be suspended.
Oh, yes, that's right. He will not be suspended. He was not at practice today, but they said it's an excused absence, and the league will not suspend him. So that's a good thing. So we avoided that. So having a star on the team, we don't have to worry about missing him the first week of the season because we're not still 100% sure with Waddle. I mean, Waddle says he's good to go. But you said that you read where Omar Kelly says he doesn't look 100% out there, but he did practice today.
Well, he told Omar Kelly that he's probably at about a 70% right now.
Okay. So you got another week, a little over a week, so before we play. So hopefully he has all that time to heal up. And before I close out, guys, Paul, where can they find you here on YouTube now that you're on YouTube?
YouTube, you can look up the show WCFL Dolphins Talk.
Okay.
I believe
WCFL Dolphins Talk. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can look up, I guess, underneath my email as well, paulieandlolly3@gmail.com.
Cool.
But you should be able to find it under WCFL Dolphins Talk.
Okay, cool. And you guys you're just Dolphin fans like us talking Dolphins football all the time. You get a lot of people on there. I want to get Pam on here one day and Winters on my show. That's like he invited me on his show or your guys' show. I mean, last night. So anyone on that, you guys are all welcome here to come and talk. So let them know. So anyway,
absolutely.
Go ahead.
And I was going to say I catch Papa Paul's show. I don't comment a lot, but I do watch it. If it's not the replay, I've watched you live a couple times, and I like the way your format. I like the way you run your show. It's nice and mellow, cool, calm, collective. Everybody, gets along. I mean, they have disagreements, but they keep it respectful. I like the way you control your show, and I highly recommend any Dolphin fan in this community to check out your show. It's good stuff, and it's all Dolphins talk. And I appreciate what you're doing over there. The way that you handle yourself and conduct your panel.
Well, I appreciate it. We've all when starting it out, we all just agreed to disagree on things.
Yeah, hey, that's fun, and you guys keep it clean. Disagree, don't get asked. I like that. I do not know. Do you any of you guys know? Did Robbie? I have not seen him that he was picked up. Did Robbie?
I haven't seen anything on that.
No. You mean come back? Did he picked up by the Dolphins or picked up by
any team? He means that.
No,
anyone
I haven't. No, I haven't seen anything.
We know the Dolphins haven't, but yeah, I know. So anyway, guys, remember, and if we earned it, subscribe. I'm trying to get to that magical 400 number, but you guys all rock. So we'll get there slowly but surely. And yes, even though it's not a popular name in Paul's mouth, that's what I'm about to say, or Steve's, I'm going to go watch some University of Florida Gators. That's why I needed Pam and that's why I needed Shake Money and Pam in the house so they could give me a fin. But I'm sure they're ready. They're already in front of their TV. The game starts in a few minutes. Paul, thank you so much for joining tonight. Steve, outside of Dolphins Thirsty, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me and you. You are the co-host for Real Talk Fins Talk on the Fins Talk Sports Network. You can find Rob and I every Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we talk all Dolphins, and it's real talk.
Yeah, it's real. Steve's not always this nice guy. You have to come see him when he's on a roll, man. Like, he's a nice guy, but sometimes he's not so nice on the Dolphins. I will reword how I said that. But hey,
I'm just passionate. I want to see my team go to the Super Bowl. That's all.
That's it. Me too, man. And
like all of us. Like all of us.
Hey, that's it, man. So I agree. And guys, I'm gonna let you guys say Dolphins #1 as we close out here, unless you guys have any final thoughts.
Nope. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
All right.
Well,
Dolphins #1, baby. Come on, Steve.
Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins
thirsty. They never show no mercy. On the field or in the game. Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty. We all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know. It's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won, for all things.
Good stuff, man.
Oh, fins up. I forgot.